Imagine a world where every second is devoted to the pursuit of pleasure. A world where joy is endless, constant gratification at your fingertips, an infinite stream of entertainment, distractions, indulgences, all designed to satisfy your every craving. But now ask yourself, what price would you pay for this? Could the endless chase for happiness lead not to freedom, but to something far more insidious? Today we uncover a terrifying truth that Aldous Huxley warned us about. A form of modern slavery disguised as bliss through ancient wisdom and modern psychology. We'll reveal how our relentless desire for comfort and ease may be quietly stealing the very essence of our humanity. And by the end of this video, you will have a perspective that might just shift how you see your life forever. So, let's begin this journey. A journey to expose the hidden dangers of pleasure, and how we can reclaim our freedom in a world determined to keep us chained to desire. Aldous Huxley, in his chilling vision of the future, painted a world where humanity willingly surrendered its autonomy for the illusion of happiness. In Brave New World, people aren't shackled by chains, no prisons, no tyrants. Instead, they are sedated with soma, a drug that soothes all discomfort, leaving behind nothing but hollow smiles. Every impulse is satisfied, every worry silenced. And the most terrifying part, no one resists. Because why fight when the pleasure is endless? Huxley warned us. The most powerful form of control is not force, it's sedation. But look around. Aren't we living in our own version of Huxley's nightmare? The constant buzz of notifications, the infinite scroll, videos, memes, games, tailored precisely to hold our attention. Psychologists like Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi speak of flow, those moments of deep focus and joy. But technology has twisted this concept. Instead of true fulfillment, we are trapped in cycles of addiction. Algorithms don't care about your happiness. They care about your attention. And they have perfected the art of keeping you hooked. Think about it. How often do you reach for your phone, seeking a fleeting hit of dopamine? A quick scroll, a laugh, a like, only to find hours have vanished, leaving you emptier than before. This isn't entertainment. This is a trap. Psychologists call it the hedonic treadmill. No matter how much pleasure we experience, we adapt. The excitement fades. The joy is temporary. And soon, we crave the next hit, a new phone, a better meal, another thrill. But fulfillment, it's always out of reach. And Huxley's words echo louder than ever. We become prisoners to our desires. Not by force, not by violence, but by choice. This isn't just a theory. Studies reveal the devastating effects of this endless pursuit. A 2020 study published in the Journal of Affective Disorders exposed the disturbing link between excessive screen time and rising levels of anxiety and depression. But perhaps most frightening is the vicious cycle it creates. The lonelier we feel, the more we reach for our devices. And the more we scroll, the deeper our unhappiness grows. And the question remains, what is the true cost of pleasure? Philosopher Viktor Frankl survived the unthinkable, the horrors of the Holocaust. Yet, from that darkness, he uncovered a profound truth. True fulfillment does not come from chasing happiness. It comes from finding meaning. Frankl believed that when we lack purpose, we seek distraction. And in that endless search for comfort, we widen the emptiness within. But you don't have to live this way, ask yourself. Are you living a life of purpose, or has the pursuit of pleasure quietly taken the wheel? This is not just a philosophical question, it's a practical one. Every day we make choices. Do we binge one more show, or spend time with those we love? Do we scroll endlessly, or create something meaningful? Do we escape discomfort, or grow from it? Small choices. But together, they define the course of our lives. Huxley once said, most human beings have an almost infinite capacity for taking things for granted. But what if we chose differently? What if we stopped taking for granted the deeper joys? Authentic connection, creativity, self-discovery, and the fulfillment of contributing to something greater than ourselves. Here's the truth. Pleasure, when chased without restraint, doesn't liberate us. It enslaves us. Invisible chains. Silent captors. In every moment we give in, we lose a little more of what makes us human. but awareness is the first step toward freedom. As we continue this journey, we will expose the hidden systems designed to keep us addicted and reveal how you can break free. But for now, ask yourself, are you truly free? Or are you merely a consumer in a world that profits from your desires? Let that question linger. And when you're ready, we'll go deeper. What if I told you that the most precious currency in the world isn't gold, oil, or even technology? It's your attention. Every moment you spend scrolling, clicking, and consuming, you're not merely passing time, you're a commodity. And in this vast digital marketplace, you are what's being bought and sold. Welcome to the attention economy, a system that thrives on your addiction to pleasure. It locks you into an endless cycle of consumption, feeding your cravings while silently stealing your autonomy. To grasp how deeply this system controls us, we must look within, into the intricate wiring of our own minds. Neuroscientist Dr. Robert Sapolsky, renowned for his research on stress and dopamine, has uncovered a profound truth. Our brains are built to seek rewards. Every time we experience pleasure, our brain releases dopamine, the neurotransmitter of desire. It fuels our motivation, urging us to chase that next moment of joy. It's the thrill of likes on a post, the buzz of a new message, the euphoria of a winning streak. But here's the twist. The anticipation of pleasure often triggers a greater dopamine rush than the pleasure itself. That's why we refresh our feeds obsessively, waiting for notifications. It's why the thought of a reward feels intoxicating, while the reward itself feels fleeting. The attention economy exploits this vulnerability, turning us into perpetual seekers, always yearning, never satisfied. But this isn't simply a byproduct of modern life. It's by design. Platforms and apps are meticulously engineered to keep us hooked. Tristan Harris, a former Google design ethicist, describes how these systems rely on intermittent variable rewards, the same mechanism that keeps gamblers tethered to slot machines. Unpredictable rewards create addiction, pulling us deeper into digital quicksand. And what's worse, while we chase fleeting highs, something far more valuable slips away. Our freedom. Aldous Huxley saw it coming. In Brave New World, pleasure wasn't just a private indulgence. It was a tool of control. People numbed themselves with soma, a drug that eliminated all discomfort, all dissatisfaction. Sound familiar? Today we are in tea swallowing pills to silence our inner unrest. We reaching for our phones. Every notification, every binge watch session, every dopamine hit serves the same purpose: distraction. But distraction from what? The emptiness we refuse to face? The anxiety that lingers beneath the surface? The ache of unrealized potential? And so we scroll, we consume, we numb. But what's the true cost of this endless pursuit of pleasure? It's far more than wasted hours. It's the erosion of our very essence. Author Cal Newport, in Deep Work, warns that constant digital engagement diminishes our ability to focus, learn, and create. Every swipe and click chips away at our capacity for deep thought. The result? A mind fractured by distraction, unable to find purpose, unable to thrive. But it's not just our productivity that suffers. Philosopher Erich Fromm, in To Have or To Be, cautioned against society's obsession with possession over presence. We are conditioned to believe that happiness can be bought, that fulfillment comes from accumulating more. Yet the joy of ownership fades, leaving only a hollow craving for the next fix. And still we chase. But what if there's another way? Imagine a life not ruled by instant gratification, but by purpose. A life where joy isn't measured by likes or fleeting thrills, but by the quiet satisfaction of growth, connection, and creation. Psychologist Martin Seligman, the father of positive psychology, found that true fulfillment comes from meaning, from engaging in work we care about, from cultivating deep relationships, from contributing to something greater than ourselves. Pleasure has its place. It's a spark of color in the tapestry of our existence. But when it becomes the sole pursuit, it consumes us. So I ask you, where in your life have you traded purpose for pleasure? Have you settled for the empty comfort of distraction while your deepest desires remain untouched? Because to break free from the chains of the attention economy, we must first see them for what they are. Recognize the cost. Acknowledge the theft of your time, your focus, your agency. Only then can you reclaim your freedom. And in the moments to come, we'll explore how. But for now, hold on to this truth. The unchecked pursuit of pleasure does not lead to liberation. It leads to servitude. True freedom demands something more. It demands courage. The courage to face the silence we so often drown out. Because it's there, in that silence, where we rediscover who we truly are. Let's continue this journey. A journey of reclaiming our time, our focus, and ultimately our lives. What comes next will challenge everything you think you know about happiness and freedom. If there's one undeniable truth we've learned from thinkers like Aldous Huxley and modern psychologists, it's this. Unchecked hedonism doesn't just enslave individuals. It reshapes entire societies. Think about the concept of soft tyranny, a form of control that feels comforting rather than oppressive. Alexis de Tocqueville, in his analysis of democratic societies, warned that people might willingly surrender their freedoms for comfort and security. Sound familiar? This is Huxley's nightmare in action. In Brave New World, people weren't bound by chains or fear. They were lulled into compliance, not by pain, but by pleasure. Look around. Every day we're bombarded with the promise of ease. Smart devices that think for us. Apps that deliver instant gratification. A culture that glorifies convenience above all else. But while these luxuries make life easier, they also make us more dependent. And here's the terrifying part. It doesn't feel like enslavement. It feels like progress. It feels good. It's what makes it so dangerous. Huxley once wrote, "A really efficient totalitarian state would be one in which the all-powerful executive controls a population of slaves who do not have to be coerced because they love their servitude." Now think about your own life. How many decisions are truly yours? How often are your choices influenced, if not dictated by algorithms, trends, or societal expectations? When was the last time you chose discomfort for the sake of growth, rather than the path of least resistance? This isn't just a personal dilemma. A culture obsessed with pleasure corrodes relationships, communities, and even the planet. Philosopher Søren Kierkegaard called this the despair of the aesthetic life, a state where individuals chase beauty and pleasure at the cost of meaning and responsibility. He believed that genuine fulfillment could only be found by embracing the ethical life, a life of purpose, commitment, and higher ideals. Now, imagine two paths. One is smooth, effortless, and lined with distractions. It leads to instant gratification, but at the expense of depth and meaning. The other is rocky and steep. It demands effort and sacrifice, yet every step rewards you with growth, connection, and legacy. Which path are you walking? Modern psychology echoes Kierkegaard's insights. Studies show that people who prioritize intrinsic goals, personal growth, relationships, and contribution report higher levels of satisfaction and joy. But the world we live in constantly pushes us toward extrinsic rewards, wealth, fame, status, because a society built on consumerism thrives on dissatisfaction. If you were truly content, would you need the latest gadget, the trendiest clothes, or the newest entertainment? That's why advertisers don't just sell products, they sell lifestyles. They whisper the lie that happiness is always one purchase away. But here's the truth. No amount of external pleasure can fill an internal void. So many people, even those who seem to have it all, remain hollow, restless, unfulfilled. Psychologist Carl Jung once said, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls." The relentless pursuit of pleasure often masks a deeper fear, the fear of confronting our own emptiness. But it doesn't have to be this way. Breaking free begins with awareness. We must recognize the systems and behaviors that keep us shackled to fleeting satisfaction. But knowing is not enough. We must act. Turn off notifications. Stop the constant pull for your attention. Set boundaries. Choose how and when you engage with technology. Prioritize meaning. Spend time on pursuits that nourish your soul instead of draining it. These steps may seem small, but in a world designed to keep you distracted, they are revolutionary. So I ask you, what would your life look like if you prioritized meaning over pleasure? What habits or mindsets would you need to change to walk the path of growth? What are you willing to sacrifice for a life of substance and purpose? As we move into the final chapter of this exploration, we'll uncover the most profound insight, the ultimate key to breaking free from the chains of pleasure. A revelation that has the power to transform not just how you live, but who you are. Stay with me. The most important lesson is still to come. The answer lies in embracing a profound truth. Real freedom isn't found in doing whatever we want, whenever we want. Real freedom is having the discipline to choose what truly matters. Friedrich Nietzsche once wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how, and that insight, it's liberation." When we anchor our lives to a deeper purpose, the fleeting lure of pleasure loses its hold. Purpose becomes our compass, cutting through the noise, through the cravings and the distractions, and leading us towards something far greater, a life of meaning. Think of the people whose impact echoes through history. Gandhi, Mother Teresa. Martin Luther King Jr., they didn't seek comfort. They didn't chase pleasure. They endured suffering, stood in the face of fear, and kept walking. Because their why was greater than the temptation to turn away? And what about you? What's your why? Viktor Frankl, a man who found meaning even in the darkest depths of a concentration camp, offers us a path forward. In his book Man's Search for Meaning, he identifies 3 sources of purpose: creating something of value, experiencing love and connection, finding growth through suffering. Each of these paths requires courage. They demand we step beyond ourselves, beyond the smallness of our own desires, and into a fuller, richer experience of life. But it starts with questions. Honest, piercing questions. What legacy do I want to leave behind? How can my strength serve others? When challenges arise, how can I grow instead of retreating? These aren't comfortable thoughts, but they're the ones that matter. And in seeking the answers, you begin to break free. Free from the illusion that pleasure alone can satisfy. Because the truth is this: the pursuit of pleasure, no matter how tempting, is a distraction. A distraction from the deeper pursuit of meaning. Aristotle called it eudaimonia, a flourishing life. Not one of endless indulgence, but one guided by virtue, courage, and purpose. And to live such a life, we need something often underestimated: discipline. Discipline isn't restriction, it's liberation. It's the strength to say no to what is easy and yes to what is right. As Jocko Willink famously said, discipline equals freedom. With discipline, we are no longer slaves to impulse, no longer prisoners to comfort. With discipline, we reclaim our autonomy. So start small. Get up a little earlier to reflect or meditate. Carve out time for what truly matters: a passion, a purpose. Limit the distractions that numb your spirit. These actions may seem insignificant, but they're not. Every moment you choose discipline over indulgence, you reclaim another piece of yourself. And here's the part most people avoid: embrace discomfort. Growth never lives in the comfort zone. It exists where you stretch, stumble, and rise again. When you push your body, your mind, your beliefs, that's when transformation begins. That's when you step into the person you were meant to become. Every time you resist the pull of mindless entertainment or superficial desires, you strike a blow against the world's attempts to sedate you. You rebel, and rebels change the world. Aldous Huxley warned of a society lulled into complacency by pleasure. A world where people would trade their freedom for comfort and their potential for ease. But he also believed in the human spirit, believed in our capacity to resist. And you have that power. By choosing purpose over pleasure, discipline over indulgence, and meaning over distraction, you can break free. You can reclaim your freedom. You can live a life that matters. So what will you choose? Will you remain on the easy path, dictated by fleeting desires? Or will you rise above, confronting the discomfort, the fear, the struggle, and walk the path of purpose? The choice is yours. And remember, this journey isn't just about improving your own life, it's about something far greater. Because when one person awakens to their purpose, it inspires others to do the same. The revolution begins with youthits. All for today on Scaphilos. See you in the next one.